good lead, and he led a good portion of the first moto in this 4-6 special limited class. But Herring didn't get it off to his greatest start, and remember, he had to work his way up through the pack. It was kind of a calculated ride for such a young man, believe it or not, and Herring was able to pull off the win in the end.
Yeah, it absolutely was a calculated ride, but the deciding factor in my book was having to come through the pack like that, and it just used up a lot of energy and time.
It most certainly did, as the gate is down on this one now, and as we roll into the Bell Helmets hole shot for us now, we'll get it all sorted out, let you know who has grabbed the early lead in this one. Man, these little guys are going everywhere. Some are going to the outside, some to the inside, some deciding at the last minute and changing up there. But early on, we see, there's Rayner. We see there's a 60 and the 13 machine. So we got Colton Waits, who finished 8th on a KRW Cycles Moto 1 out of Troy, Ohio. And we've got that 13 of Mason Rayner battling for the lead here already. And this is a lot of the situation that we saw Rayner in early on yesterday. Got out front early and started the checkout. Back there in the number 3 spot is Walker Herndon. Herndon finished 3rd in Moto 1.
Trying to do the same thing here. Rayner, you notice, actually trying to scrub that little bike through the 10 Commandments there, cutting that front wheel, trying to get back on the ground, and able to put that machine out front and actually pull a little bit of gap through the last 2 corners.
Wesley Baldwin out of Elko, Nevada, the 21 machine, running back in the 4th place position to kick things off here on lap number 1 for the 4-6 special limited. Now we've got another 4-6 class. It's a shaft drive starting right now, but here's the battle up. Wow, well, there's a battle up front for that class. So we move into the realm of the shaft drive class. A lot of PWs out in this one right now. And believe it or not, 20 years ago, when I first started coming here, they were making the transition. There were more of these PWs on the line than there were anything. A few KTMs and a few Cobras. But we've seen so much advancement in the 50cc classes since I began announcing here, and it's all taken place in the last 20 years.
Yeah, those PWs, one of the main reasons the protesters became so prominent back in the day. Those guys were putting cylinder spacers on them, putting different pistons and stuff in them PWs.
And look at this, they are dog paddling through this section of the track. That's how deep the lines are out here right now. By the way, Colton Waits gets the hole shot in the 51cc 4-6 special limited class. That was Waits, the number 60 that we've seen doing the battle up front here, I believe. And now we see that the 23 machine of Walker Herndon has worked his way around the number 60 now. I believe that would be for a 2nd place position. And down goes the 23.
Oh, no.
Herndon out of Conley Springs, North Carolina. Oh, what a heartbreaker. Having trouble struggling to get that bike up. Fortunately, the bike didn't die, so he gets back up and on the throttle really fast.
Oh, look at this. The number 60 having some issues right there as well. Holy cow, this loose sand providing all kinds of challenges for these young riders here. Watching them work their way around Lake Loretta's right now. Coming back down. Here we come toward the finish line right now with that number 13 machine.
Well, it's Canton Richards out of Murfreesboro, Illinois, grabbing the early lead in the hole shot, the Bell Helmets hole shot award in the shaft drive class. He finished 10th in Moto number 1. Mason Rayner finishing up this first lap of racing in the number 1 position now. And, man, it's wow. And look at this change that's taking place again right here at the finish line. Was that Herring that we seen?
It may have been.
And if that was Herring, no, it wasn't Herring, I don't think, that made the little stutter or mistake there. But he's up to the number 4 spot, and we're seeing pretty much the same thing we saw out of him, I think, the moto before. He is all over Wesley Baldwin now, the 21 machine. If I'm not mistaken, this is for the 3rd place position as Colton Waits, the number 60. Actually, Waits has dropped back to 4, so this is a battle for 2nd now.
Man, they've got me confused right now, Rodney. These guys shaking these positions up.
Wesley Baldwin in 2nd. Ryan Herring is 3rd. Colton Waits, the number 60, back in 4th. And we're side by side. I bet softball wasn't this exciting at 5 years old, was it?
No, it was not.
Now, Chelsea, watching these kids ride out here, I know that you being a social media and being a media person, you're probably picking up on a lot of things. But most importantly, how prepared these kids are coming in to this event.
Yeah, it amazes me just their skill set at such a young age. You see so many people that, they can barely read and write, but they can sure go out here and ride a dirt bike.
I think that is impressive. And, we brought that point up a couple of different times, man. These kids, they some of them are born into it. Some of them are just get an opportunity to get on a bike and just excel right off the bat. But, yeah, it is pretty amazing how quickly they excel before they can even pick up a book and read it. And speaking of excelling, look at this right now. Wesley Baldwin has reeled in that front position now, it looks like, as things are starting to heat back up once more here again for, I believe that is the.
So it looks like Baldwin made a couple moves on this lap.
Yeah, so Baldwin really moving up through the pack out here and making things happen. Mason Rayner, the 13, leading this one at the end of that first lap. But it was that battle between Colton Waits, Wesley Baldwin, and Ryan Herring that we were watching unfold. Waits, we saw drop back, like we said, to the fourth place position. So Baldwin and Herring moving up into second and third. There's a 14-second gap right now between Rayner and that second place position, or at least whenever they came through the finish line. The question right now is, if Herring does get into the second place position, is he going to have the time in order to catch up to the number 1 spot and press Rayner for a second moto win?
Don't ask me, Rodney. My math didn't work out too good last time.
These things go along pretty quickly, and I think we're running, 12-minute motos, 12, 15-minute motos for these 12-minute motos for these little guys out here. So it goes pretty quick, but at the same time, it can seem like a lifetime for these little guys out here. There's Wesley Baldwin checking in. He's your third place position. There is the 60 of Colton Waits, fourth place in this 4 to 6 limited class. Now let's turn our attention back to the shaft drive class, whom we haven't really looked at so far today. It's Kevin DePino. He was the Moto 1 winner aboard the number 94. Second place right now is Ryder Skodratz, and back in the number 3 spot, the 25 of Landon Ballou. Now, Ballou nearly took a top 3 position yesterday. It was on the last lap, actually, that we saw him drop back to 4th, if memory serves me correct. But Landon Ballou is back in it again, and he's going to be going for some Moto medals himself here today.
Yeah, taking a look at the gap right there, 20 seconds for DePino. An impressive ride the other day in Moto number 1. But as we look back a little further, only a second and a half separating your second and third place right there. So that's the real action in that shaft drive class. The battle for that second position. Right behind them, though, Keaton Richards only about 2.5 seconds back there. So about 3 riders separated by about 4 seconds.
Now, keep in mind, yesterday, this race was when the rain had just started beginning to fall, so that definitely played a role in who got the podium that yesterday as well. So we're going to see who can ride well in the mud and who can ride well in the rough and rutted conditions.
You're right, and it was the final lap.
Yep.
The rain started falling there yesterday for these guys, so very good point to ponder on there, Chelsea, and great insight, no doubt about that. Folks, listen up. This is the way that things are going to run here tomorrow. Stick around right here, Kayla, for just a moment. The Open Pro Sport Motos changed times, so that's one thing that we want to point out. Now, this is where we're starting tomorrow, race 21, correct? I believe we've got scheduled for Friday motos, the 65 7 to 11. So it looks like we are going to be going, I believe, with that 85cc class, or the mini senior class that we were looking at. That's race 20. So race 21 will be the 65 7 to 11. So hopefully all your mini senior riders are out there. What's going on, Megawatt?
I'm telling you, it looks like the 21 machine has stalled right there. That looks like Wesley Baldwin, and for some reason, just pulled up there and the bike shut off. He didn't seem to stall it, didn't seem to fall over, but had to kick that thing and get it going again, and lost a couple positions there. Did Wesley Baldwin?
That's odd on these little automatic machines, but it does happen. But you know that's great to see in this class, 4 to 6 years old. I mean, the kid immediately started kicking. He knows he's at a race that mom and dad or the flaggers and nobody else can help him at. He's got to do it all on his own, and that's exactly what he's doing now. Is he got company coming up behind him now that he had that little tip over, or that little stall out, I guess I should say? I think he might have some company coming back there from another rider, one of his class riders, and that is Cobra-mounted pilot. Is that Walker Herndon now putting the pressure on?
I'm not sure if the pressure is. I think when he was getting up, when Wesley was getting up to take off, they were all about set, and he pulled away from him. So
there's our leader, Mason Rayner, as we check in with him heading into the heart of this race course right now. Last time around, enjoying a near 11-second lead. Ryan Herring, who had taken the Moto 1 win, is in the number 2 spot, has gotten around Baldwin, gotten around Waits, and Herndon rounding out the top 5 now. Wyatt Thurman was 6th, 7th was Charles Morris, Gage Dunham in 8th. Knox Lewin in 9th, and Ryan Pace rounded out the top 10.
The leaders in our shaft drive class already on their second lap as well. So those guys picking up the pace there. Still DePino out front. DePino this time around about a 36-second lead over Ryder Scoter's. Ryder has only 2 seconds between him and Landon Ballou, and it looks like Jandon Lewis only about 11 seconds back there. So that's a real race in our shaft drive for that second and third position. Those two guys right now, like we said, only separated by about 2, maybe 2.5 seconds last time around. So the number 47 of Ryder Scoter's going to have to ride defensively. That number 25 machine trying to make his way up into that number 2 position right now. And the checkered flag is out, Rodney.
Wow, that one happened fast. Sorry about that. Didn't get a chance to give you a heads up on that, Kevin Kelly. But Mason Rayner will take the second Moto win in the 4-6 limited class, while Ryan Herring will take second. And it looks like Wesley Baldwin, look at that. Look at the little fella already down on the podium. I believe, yeah, and Walker Herndon will actually round out the top 3. So a big move there for the 23 machine. And we see changes here on this final lap. Wyatt Thurman moving into 4th. Colton Waits will hold on for 5th. Wes Baldwin drops back to 6th. Then it's Knox Lewin, Charles Morris, Gage Dunham, and Ryan Pace to round out the top 10. Looking to now the 51 shaft drive. Kevin DePino we should be seeing out front. Ryder Snodgrass, as you had said. Landon Ballou had an 11, almost a 12-second gap back to Jordan Lewis, the number 50 for 4th. So Ballou may hang on to this one for 3rd. Canton Richards, the 78 in 5th. The 59 of Braden Malgren in 6th. Matthew Williams in 7th. Colton DeRico, the 80 in 8th. Ryder Holland, the 35 in 9th. And Walker Brown, the 58, rounding out the top 10. Your take on this one, Chelsea?
I just can't believe how well that those little bikes. I figured that flagmen would be hard at work getting them stuck out of those ruts after all the rain we had.
A very good observation as well. The track crew, again, commending the track crew on a job well done. They prepped this track actually about 3 races ago, leading into this ahead of the girls and things like that a couple of different times to get this track ready for this particular situation. What a great move, again, by the track crew. These guys are aces, no doubt about it.
Race strategy and track savvy just killing me out of these guys. Each year, these little guys get smarter and smarter. I want to tell you some of the strategy. I saw some of the setup moves. I saw some of the techniques for the passes. Just unbelievable. Squaring up corners and things like that. Those are advanced techniques. You know, normally a child 4 to 6 years old really focused on concentrating on his ride and racing ahead. Now these guys analyzing the track ahead of them, analyzing the bikes ahead of them, deciding what to do about it, making that decision, and then implementing the action. So crazy what we've just seen in these last 3 races.
If this is any insight of what future of the motocross has, we're in for a treat.
We are, and I say that every year too. I mean, it's almost like you're rewinding back and saying the way that I feel about this, Chelsea, because
don't be a copycat, Chelsea.
And that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that, yeah, I mean, what these kids are able to achieve out here is just amazing. It blows your mind, and every year the level continues to raise, it seems like. There's Kevin DePino taking the win, the 4-6 shaft drive class. I believe Scodras still about 36 seconds back, with Ballou only 2 seconds behind him. So we will see those riders checking in. Oh,
the gaps that we've had this year between 1st and 2nd also are pretty impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, and look at the gap between 2nd and 3rd, though. Scodras hangs on to that one, but Ballou, he was on the push there on that final lap. 7.746 was how far he was behind Scodras when they came across the checker flag. As we take a look at that 4-6 special limited Rocky Mountain leaderboard, Mason Rayner, Ryan Herring, Walker Herndon, also Wyatt Thurman, Colton Waits, your top 5 with Wes Baldwin, Knox Lewin, Charles Morris, Gage Dunham, and Ryan Pace rounding out the top 10. We'll check in with Kevin Kelly, who I think is about ready for our first podium presentations. Maybe. Maybe not.
Rodney, you talk about talk about different things here, but the concentration required. You can barely get the average 4 to 6-year-old pay attention long enough to get in the car or get the book bag, you know, and that kind of thing. But the concentration it takes to make these decisions out on the racetrack, adjust your line, change your lines, make up a move, plan a pass, incredible level of concentration. The mental game shown by these guys is incredible to me.
It certainly is. I mean, at this level, I mean, they are – sometimes it seems like some of these guys are really in the same mindset as a lot of the professional riders that you see, you know, and rightfully so. I guess, you know, they look up to those guys, so they try to mimic everything that they do. Oh, poor little feller being pushed off. That's Davey Coombs out there helping out, push that little fellow off. The 72 machine, tough break there for him.
Speaking of future stars, I think Davey's daughter Sloan might try her hand at motocross. She's been riding around on the Grom quite often. I'm just waiting on her to get a dirt bike.
Oh, that'll be awesome to see that. That's Ryder Hendrickson having some problems out of Midway, Utah. Man, hate to see those little guys travel that far and have those mechanical issues like that. But, I mean, just the experience of being here at Loretta Lynn's is an amazing feeling in and of itself. Again, we'll be heading down to the podium as soon as Kevin is ready. You can be sure and let us know. We'll also
I'm ready, man.
All right.
I'm ready. I had to do some math here. All right, first things first. Let's put our hands together for your winner, Mason Rayner. Mason, awesome job. Put that around your neck, man. You did good. Let's wrap that thing up. Oh, how does that gold feel?
Good.
Did you have some fun out there?
Yeah.
Did you battle with anybody, or were you just kind of disappear?
I just disappeared.
That's pretty awesome. Would you like to thank any of your sponsors?
Yeah. My grandparents, mom and dad, Lane, MXN, Born Race, and Moto Vest, First Choice Homes, Doug Henry Chevrolet.
Great job. Let's hear it one more time for number 13, Mr. Mason Rayner. Awesome job, Mason. We're going to bring our second place finisher up here on the number 15 machine. Where are you at? Ryan Herring. Let's put our hands together for Ryan Herring, ladies and gentlemen. Come on up here, Ryan. Come on, bud. Good job, man. There you go. Wrap that around your neck. We got our second place finisher, Ryan Herring. Ryan, how did you do it out there, man? Did you have any good battles out there?
Yeah, but I got a really bad start.
Yeah? What kind of start was it?
Like, off the gate, I got 13th.
Whoa, so you had to battle all the way back to second. You were passing guys like crazy. Did you know what position you were in at all?
No.
Awesome job. Would you like to thank some of your great sponsors that got you up here? I see your bad wheeled this motorcycle up here. He wants to show that thing off. You got some cool sponsors?
My dad, my mom, my brothers, my mechanic, Chuck, and that's all.
Man, you're going to have more after this one, folks. Let him hear it. He finishes up second. It's Ryan Herring. He gets the silver medal. And now we're going to bring up our third place finisher, the bronze medal. Come on up here. Walker Herndon, where you at, dude? How about it? Walker Herndon, here he comes. I'm going to put that around your neck, Mr. Walker. Hey, buddy, how you feeling?
Good.
Are you pumped? Is that your best finish here?
Yeah.
Third place. You're pretty stoked on that?
Yeah.
How old are you, buddy?
6.
6 years old.
7.
Oh, you're 7. Oh, somebody had to correct me. He goes, you're 7, man, so you're older. What grade you going into?
2nd.
Second grade. So you got first grade out of the way. Now you're a big dog second grader now, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Would you like to thank some of your awesome sponsors to help you get third?
Uh-huh.
What's that?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Who are your sponsors?
My mom, my dad, Cobra Moto.
Is that about it?
Yeah.
All right, smile for the cameras. Let's hear it one more time for Mr. Walker Herndon. Good job, Walker. It's got to be nerve-wracking, man. I'm nervous up here. This kid's 7 years old looking at everybody like, what do I do here? Hey, where's our Whole Shot Award winner? Is that him, number 60? Is this Brandon Collins?